Alright y'all, so today we're going to be impeaching some books from my shelves. These are just books that I either have no interest in anymore, that I tried to read but I didn't really like whilst reading them, or I didn't really care to finish, and some books that I read obviously but I just don't really care to keep anymore. Usual disclaimers for unhauls: if you feel the need to like convince me to keep any of these books, don't, because I made my decision. If any of these were your favorites and you love them and you feel offended that I'm getting rid of them, then that's not my problem. And unfortunately, as much as I would love to, I can't ship these out to all of y'all because it's too expensive, and even if you offer to pay for shipping, I'm not in the mood to deal with that, so it's not going to happen. What I will be doing with these books, the young adult ones and the really interesting ones, I will be donating to my high school library because I feel like they'll be very excited to get some of these books. The rest I will be giving to friends, most of which I'm giving to my friend Jade, because if I feel the need to read some of these after I get rid of them, then I could just borrow them from her. Without further ado, let's jump into the haul. These books are in no particular order because I just have them stacked up on the ground here. I literally just filmed this, but because I spent the entire video not looking at the camera because apparently I'm guilty, it just kind of annoyed me. So we're going to do this video over again. So jumping into it, I have this really tiny book, A Long Walk to Water by Linda Supak. My mother read it, she said it was good. I read like half of it for a booktubeathon like 3 years ago, and I just never finished it. It's like literally 120 pages and the font is huge. Why didn't I finish this book? I don't know. Then we have the return of everybody's favorite problematic Caucasian woman, and that is J.K. Rowling. I don't really care to read her adult hardcover books. I think she's an excellent author. She's, in terms of being a person, she's kind of questionable, but she's an excellent author. I love the Harry Potter series, and I'm sure these books are good, and I'm sure somebody else will enjoy them, namely Jade, because I'm giving these to her. And I'll probably borrow them if I feel the need to read them. And I got these for really cheap. This one I got for dirt cheap, like maybe $2 US if you want to convert it. And this one I got for half off. So it's not like if I paid the full, you know, adult hardcover prices for those. Then I have We Will Liars by E. Lockhart. This is one that I really enjoyed back when I read it back in 2014 or something. Like, it was very popular on BookTube. But I just don't really feel the need to read it again. And the more I think about it, the more mediocre it seems. So it's gonna go. Then we have Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Again, a book that I enjoyed. I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars. This is a fantasy book. I'm not going to reread it again, especially since I didn't understand like 60% of what happened in it anyways. But it's a really good book. Like, if you like fantasy, if you like Beauty and the Beast retellings, if you like, it's not a Beauty and the Beast retellings, but it's somewhat similar. Just go read up the summary. If it sounds like something you like, then you'll probably like it. So. And I have one that might kind of shock you, but I'll explain, and that is Layer of Dreams and wow, that's completely out of order. The Diviners and Layer of Dreams by Alipa Bray. I love this first book. It was one of my favorites of 2014, and I need to reread it. I think though that I might most likely go with the audiobook, and then once I read this one for the first time, because I only ever read the first book in the series, then I'm going to get rid of it, because I hate these two editions. I know people love this cover. I don't. I hate it. Plus I have the really ugly international edition, and I also hate this cover. I like the new covers, so if I feel so inclined, I might repurchase the rest of the series in the new covers. But for now, then I have some graphic novels. I have the Amulet series, which is so completely out of order. Wow. Okay, now it's in order. I read these like 2 years ago, and I enjoy them, but I just don't feel the need to reread them again. I got them for discount at my school bookstore, so yeah. Then we have In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. This is one that I just found to be mediocre. I'm also not a fan of graphic novels, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I don't really read much graphic novels. Then I have another one that's kind of controversial. I have J.J. Abrams and Doug Dost's S, and this is a really cool book that I always wanted to read, and then I completely lost interest. I did not pay the full price for this because I know this book is super expensive, like $35. I didn't pay that full price. I paid like about around $12 US for it. So I got it at a good price. I'm giving it to Jade, so if I feel like I need to read it, I can borrow it from Jade. This is why it's always important to have a Jade in your life. Then I have The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. This is one that everybody says is great and I should read. I'm not going to read it because I really don't care. I might give it a go, probably, just because it's so short and easy to read, but I just honestly don't care. I'll give this to Jade because she actually did read it, but I don't think she has a physical copy, and she loved this book. Well, at least I think she loved it, so she'll have her own copy to revisit. I'm also giving to Jade Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay because she's been meaning to borrow this from me for quite some time, so I'm just going to give it to her because why not? This is a duplicate copy. I have another newer edition that's really pretty, and I was keeping this to lend it out to people because, as you can tell, it's really beat out because people are always borrowing this book. But now if people want to borrow it, I will just say Jade has it, so get it from her. Then I have some of y'all's faves, which is the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. I know this is a bit like a very controversial, oh my god, why you gonna do that? Oh my god. Listen, I think this is a really great series. I loved it back when I first read it. I think it was way back in 2014 I read it. I'm not going to reread it anytime soon. If I do, I could just get them out of a library. I really don't feel the need to keep these. I got this on discount. I got these two for free. I might repurchase the really nice paperbacks, you know, the ones I'm talking about. Not the foil ones, but the ones that are black with the like little symbols on them. But I probably won't, let's be honest. Then we have How to Be Both by Ali Smith. I didn't understand one shit. I didn't even finish it. I think I read like the first 10 pages, but I didn't understand one shit. Then we have The Book of Negroes by Lawrence Hill. This is one that I will read in the future, I think, but not anytime soon, so I just don't feel the need to keep the copy. Somebody else is going to be really happy to get this book, and I think I might donate this to the school library as well. Dumpling by Julie Murphy. I'm probably going to donate this to the library as well, along with other young adult stuff like We Were Liars, maybe The Hunger Games, but I feel like we already have that, so maybe I won't donate that one. I don't know what I'll do, but this one I'll definitely donate to that library because it's a young adult book and I feel like the young adults will like it. I liked it. It was really good. I didn't love it, so I don't feel the need to keep it. We have Moby Dick by Herman Melville, which is a brick of a novel. I know this is the expensive Penguin drop caps. I got it for like half off at a book sale. I don't feel bad getting rid of it. Ishmael could call himself Ishmael. Till the wheels come home for all I care. We have 1984 by George Orwell. I read the first 50 pages of this book. I found it was extremely boring. I don't care to move on. I know some of y'all are going to be like, Saajid, this book is great and it's excellent and like society and dictatorship and democracy and dystopian and all these big ass words. Y'all gonna be writing theses in my comment section. Bitch, listen, I ain't gonna read this book. I don't fucking care to read this book. I don't care how great George Orwell is. There are people in the world who I'm sure are greater than him. I don't really care. Then we have The Sellout by Paul Beatty. This is a book that I think is a good book. I never read it, but I think it's a good book. I got a gift card for my birthday last year and I got two really good books that I knew I was going to love. And then I got this one because I needed a third book. But I just don't care to read it anymore, so it's gonna go. Then we have one that's breaking my heart, and that is Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged by Aisha Malik. I read like the first 50 to 100 pages of this book, somewhere in between that, and I really didn't enjoy it. I didn't expect this book to be a romantic comedy. I thought it was going to be more of a literary fiction novel, and I just wasn't digging with the writing in here. So unfortunately, I'm going to get rid of it, but I'm donating it to my school library because I don't think that there's any book or any novel in my high school library that has a hijabi protagonist, like a main protagonist who wears the hijab. I think that's so important because there are girls at my school, like tons of girls at my school and still at my school who wear the hijab, and I feel like, you know, it's important for them to see themselves in fiction. So this is going to be a really good book to donate to that library. Then I have two Agatha Christie books that I enjoyed. These were very instrumental for me because they were some of the first books that I got into reading with, and I just don't really care to reread them, to be honest. They're really small, ugly paperbacks, and I know what happens. I know the big twist, and Agatha Christie is the kind of author who I feel like you just read her books for pure pleasure. You don't read them because they're everlasting and whatnot. If they are for you, that's great. They're not for me. And I have Land of Love and Drowning by Tiffany Yannick. This is one that I tried to read already. The writing in here is excellent. This is just overall a good book because I read like about a good 100 pages of this one already. But I didn't like other aspects of it because this book features a lot of incest and very like gross, rapey father and little daughter incest, and it's just I don't want to subject myself to that. We have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. I was keeping this because I still have Matilda, but then we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling again. More J.K. Rowling to get rid of. This was mediocre. The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. This is a really, really good book. I loved it. I'm not going to reread it though. And the Form 6 Spanish students study this, and they usually read the English version along with the Spanish version, so I guess this will be kind of helpful for them, so I'll donate that to my school library. And I have some Maya Angelou. I have Mom and Me and Mom and All God's Children Need Traveling Shoes. I haven't read this one. I don't really care to. I read this one already. It was cute. Don't care to reread it. Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I never read this. I don't know why I bought this. I have no interest in reading this, and I feel like children at school will enjoy it, so. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly by Jean-Dominique Bauby. I do have a slight interest, so I'm giving it to Jade, and if I feel like borrowing it from her, I will. Then we have Hidden Figures by Margot Chatterley, which is a book that I started reading. I was enjoying it. I don't really feel the need to continue reading it, so. And finally, we have the Luna Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I know this is everybody's favorite series on BookTube. I do have the third book, but I lent it to a friend, so when she gives it back, I'll donate this entire thing to the school library because I feel like kids will be extremely excited to see this at the library. I enjoyed this series, but I also found that it was kind of mediocre. I hated the second book and I hated the last book in it, so it just, I don't see the need to keep it. And yeah, that's going to be it for this haul. In the comments down below, let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these books. In fact, don't, because I don't really care about these books, so I don't really care to know anybody's thoughts. Instead, let me know about your experience with unhauling. Have you done some unhauling recently? Do you not like to unhaul? Do you just like to hoard all your books? Let me know all of your opinions on these kinds of things in the comments down below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.